It's Nate with Pulse PEMF and the PulseCast. We're in the booth here on the 2025 Biohacking Conference floor. Joining me today is Jim Donnelly from Humanot Health, and we're going to give you a front row seat to the biohacking revolution today. Jim, thank you so much for taking time. I know you just flew in, so we really appreciate you making a sacrifice for us today.
No problem. I actually live here in Austin. We're based in Austin, but I had a biohacker event in LA last night.
You're a busy
So
man.
it's a lot of biohacking
That's
going
right.
on.
So I did see you had a facility here in
Yep.
Austin, Texas, and this generation is really waking up to being proactive
Yep.
in the health and not being stuck in a sick care model
Yep.
anymore. So what is, in your experience with Humanot and the things that you've been doing, what is the importance? What are some of the main important points of personalized care, which is what Humanot really is the ultimate goal of Humanot, isn't that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the train's left the station. People understand that the data and the personalization drive better results.
Yes.
The issue, this conference both sums up the promise and the issue. If you literally walk around this floor, you're going to see 100 different products and services. What do you do? And that's kind of where something like Humanot comes in. We've synthesized all the best things that are available. We've put them together in a cogent way. We become your co-pilot to help navigate the sort of the solution for you, all the data that is specific to you. And we kind of bring in the modalities and all the exogenous molecules and regenerative medicine all together in a cohesive way. And number one, that helps you because people are kind of frustrated a little bit with how do I navigate all this. I'm almost like becoming my own doctor, and they actually don't want to be their own
Right.
doctor.
Right.
So that helps, and then we get to highlight what we think is truly the best stuff. Like for instance, we use Pulse PEMF in our clinics, and we're a big fan of it. But that came from years of vetting it and years of trying 30 other modalities. I founded Restore Hyper Wellness as well, and so we've touched more people in this space than anyone else in the world.
It's
And
amazing.
so we feel like it puts us in a good place to be the ultimate co-pilot and arbiter of what's the best stuff and the best way to personalize these things.
I love that you use the term co-pilot because
Yep.
it still keeps the person to be responsible for their own
Yep.
journey. I think a lot of that in the sick care model, we've given the doctors the steering wheel and we become passive and
Yeah.
just accept things as they are, accept the word curses that are spoken over us. You
Yeah.
only have this long to live. And
Yeah.
now this generation is waking up to that, but you're still, as the co-pilot, you're still leaving
Yeah.
them to be stewards of their lives and stewards of their body.
Yeah, listen, the thing is putting these things in front of people is not the hard part. Getting them to actually be compliant, getting them to actually change behavior,
Yes.
all of those things are the much harder thing. So if you don't have the right approach to it, for instance, we have an accountability protocol. If you're a Humanot member, we tell you the things we expect of you if you're going to be part of our program. Because if you don't do those things, we're all wasting our time.
Exactly.
We also try to bring some real playfulness and whimsy to it. That's why the name of the company is Humanot. Like, are you a Humanot today?
I was
Did
going to
you do
ask where the name
Humanot
came
type
from.
things? And so, an astronaut explores space, a Humanot explores health optimization.
Come
And
on.
so you have a different ethos if you're a Humanot. So when people come in our door, they might not be a Humanot on day one, but over time, they become a different person. And we're bringing in things like community that's very aspirational and inspirational. And we have things like accountability protocols. So if you're going to be part of the tribe, then you got to be part of the tribe. You got to follow the rules. You got to do the things,
I love
and you have agency. Like we're not a cult. We're not twisting your arm. Like we want you to be a part of it, and I think people really love the fact that we treat them like adults. The recommendations we make are once again data driven. You're an N of one in our world. You give us the style too. Some people come in and say, I don't want pharmaceuticals. Great. We can handle that issue in another way. Some people say, I want it all. So I think we do a good job of once again navigating that as a co-pilot.
I love that you have the human compassion and the empathy side of things to coach people through that, and you've thought through the system and how people can overcome their excuses.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about the tech side as well. What are
Yeah.
some of the modalities that you offer at Humanot?
Yeah, so we First of all, we do a ton of diagnostics, 75 bespoke different diagnostics,
Wow.
plus 100 blood panels. So we can go as deep as we need to go. Then we do all exogenous molecules, medication, supplements, peptides, hormones. We do very extensive regenerative stem cell medicine. We have things in the clinic like PEMF, Pulse PEMF. We have shift wave. We have tons of movement diagnostic tools and ways to train people how to do things like VO2 max training. We have DEXA scan, all kinds of other. I
Hmm.
mean, we have so much stuff in the clinic. It's kind of like a little bit of a playground for people.
Definitely for somebody like me,
Yeah,
for sure. Absolutely. And Pulse PMF is one of the offerings
yeah,
there as well. And now you've vetted a number of PEMF
yeah.
providers, I'm sure. Why did you choose Pulse?
There's a personal story and then a professional story. I got run over by a drunk driver about 5 years ago. About killed me. And for a year, I sort of sought out a lot of different things. Ultimately, stem cells was the thing that brought me all the way back and made me my former self. And but along the way, the one thing that I could rely on was the Pulse PEMF. Like it truly impacted my life, and it could get me to a point that I could keep looking for the final solution, which ultimately became stem cells. But so on a personal level, I have high level of conviction. I know Pulse PEMF works. It was life changing for me. But I'm a big believer in that people want to feel things. There's too many stuff in the wellness world that we're in where it's like, trust me, good
Yeah.
things are happening.
Yeah.
And I sort of like the feeling that you get from the Pulse PEMF. Something's happening. Now, you have to explain it. It can be a little bit complicated for some people. So you have to really break it down. But no one gets on a Pulse PEMF bed and it's like, what's happening?
Right.
Like you feel it. And if you
Yes.
don't feel it, turn it up.
Yes.
And I think those kind of things are important.
Absolutely.
And then once again, having a passionate advocate in a clinic is important. So, as a CEO and founder, if I'm a passionate, you know, um, ambassador for something, we're going to do it.
Absolutely.
But I think that's the key is talking to someone who is knowledgeable about it, passionate about it, and can kind of connect how it's going to help the individual you're talking to. And
Absolutely.
I think oftentimes people talk too many about the product attributes. Oh, it's got the highest level of vibration and this, it's like, okay, great, but I don't give a shit about that. Like, how does it help me?
I
And
want to
so
see results.
I want to see results.
So, as we're on that subject of results, could you share maybe one or two of those human stories where someone has really
Yeah.
entered into that human potential, the health optimization?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I say that Humanauts is a tears and hugs business.
Hmm.
We are truly in the transformation business. We have memberships everywhere from $2,000 a month up to close to $4,000 a month. So we go pretty deep. And when you go that deep, I mean, I've seen people lose 100 pounds. I've seen people that have an unhealthy heart completely transform their heart to a healthy heart.
Wow.
Every one of our customers, we can show them instances of all the important, whether it's A1C, ApoB, whatever it is, we can show them that we're improving those things. And what we try to do, and I think we do really well, is create a virtuous feedback loop. The more you do, the better you feel. The better you feel, the more you do. That's how I know we've got somebody truly transformed. And then it shows, and you can see it in their skin, you can see it in their body shape, you can see it in their energy, you can see it when they talk about their sex life, when they talk about not necessarily that, but the emotional connection that they've rediscovered with their wife or their husband because now they're vital again. And I think we're in the business of adding 20 plus really wonderful years to people's lives. We're in the business of saving marriages. We're
Wow.
in the business of all that thing. Someone comes into Humanot and says, "Hey, I want some testosterone." By the way, 99% of the time that's a man. Our first question is, "Where's your wife?" Because if we're going to transform you, we need to transform your wife too, because otherwise we create bad human outcomes. So I
Wow. That's
I,
a
I
great
want to
point.
be talking about the marriages we enhanced and saved, not the marriages we or the divorces we created. So I think it's just those little nuances are what makes Humanite, I think, better and different and thoughtful. But
No,
yeah,
that I've never heard that as one of the testimonials is
yeah,
saving a marriage, but that
yeah,
is absolutely
yeah,
vital and important. And I can see why you're a tears and hugs kind of facility. That you
yeah,
probably got a lot of logs on your fire now. With how many
yeah.
years has Humanot been
But
around?
Humanot's the first clinic's open 8 months ago. We'll open 100 clinics between now and 2029.
Come
So we'll
on.
go fast. But Restore is 250 plus clinics now, and so we've seen this game before. How do you get a really good concept and hone in on it and then expand it really quickly? And I won't be happy until Humanod is a real societal game changer. And having one clinic in Austin is great. Opening our second clinic in Florida in a month is great. But when we can touch communities all around the country, then we'll have made the impact that I'm interested in.
So all of the locations we have Austin and
Palm Beach is about to
Palm
open.
Beach.
Dallas will probably be after that. Then you'll start seeing them in places like New York, San Francisco, and all over.
So how can our viewers find out more about you and Humanot?
You can certainly find me on LinkedIn, Jim Donnelly, Humanot. You can certainly go to humanot.health.com. Those are probably the best ways.
Okay.
I'm pretty accessible. I will respond on LinkedIn. It might take a few days, but I'll get back to everybody that reaches out.
I love it. And
So,
as a bonus question, I have to ask, what is your favorite Pulse PMF accessory?
oh man. Honestly, I'm more sort of the full body lay on it. The accessories I do put on my shoulder and my knee. I went to Ranger school and I played college football, so I'm pretty beaten up. But my true like Zen Pulse PEMF moment is when I'm lying on the bed flat with my knees kind of kicked up a little bit.
Yes.
That's my sweet happy spot with Pulse PEMF.
So did you get to try our new flatbed
I
yet?
haven't. I haven't. I've been eyeing it. I've been out of the
It's
corner of my eye.
it's my favorite.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
it's been a game
yeah,
changer.
yeah.
Absolutely. So you're gonna have to get a session in
I'm
before the
gonna
conference is over.
I'm gonna get a session in about 1 minute.
Okay,
So
great.
yeah,
Well, then I'm gonna let you get to that. Thank
yeah,
you so much for your time,
yeah.
Jen. We really
Thanks.
appreciate what you're doing in this generation. We need more like you,
No,
and we
thank
need
you.
more Humanot locations. So
Yeah, we need more like everybody here. This is a great conference. This is a conference that a lot of people come to, and it's great. Thanks for being here.
absolutely. Thank you. This is where biohackers, innovators, and bold thinkers come together at the intersection of impact and innovation. So stay tuned on the PulseCast for our next conversation. We'll see you next time.